What's going on, Evertonians, and welcome back to Life as an Evertonian. This is our final summary to the draw against West Ham United on Monday night at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. Slightly delayed because we didn't get to produce the match reaction until like 1 a.m. It was late getting back for me. My battery died on my phone, so I couldn't do the content on my phone. Took a 30-minute walk to Tempest Hay Car Park. That's where I tend to park. And then it took us an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes to get home because there were diversions on the motorway. So, yeah, we was late getting in. And then my mother was babysitting my son Jude, so my wife had to take her back. It just got late. It was one of those where it got late, but I produced the content, so I thought I'd miss it yesterday and produce the final summary video today. Give it a bit of a birth and let my brain dissect what took place on Monday night. Now, I think vast majority of us were disappointed with the result, just because we found ourselves getting the goal on the 18th minute. We were in full control of the game. We started the second half relatively strong, a lot of ball retention. This Everton team has managed to find itself much more in a possession-based game of play recently. But it's one of those where we started the second half really strong, but we couldn't get the second goal. West Ham found themselves back into the game. They got the goal, and Everton didn't have any answers to go and get a second from that point. And I was like saying to myself in the stands, come on, just something, set piece, corner, a pen, anything. We probably had a really good chance of counter-attacking when Kieran Dewsbury Hall won the ball and the referee blew it and booked him. And therefore, now he's received 5 bookings and gets suspended. So, in a sense of where we are as a team, we have improved, but we are starting to see this Everton team running out of ideas. And is that because of the forward line? Technically, the number 9. Where do we go from here in terms of attack? We've only got 2 options, or is there any other options? Could Everton potentially play Njai as a false 9? Do they give Tieno Barry 4 games now to go and cement his place in this Everton team? And what I mean by that is the next 4 games, you give Tieno Barry 65 to 70 minutes every single game, and then you integrate Beto in. And it's just a way of, substitute management, game management. I don't think Everton have been doing it. I think obviously they've been making the change with 1 or 2, but I don't think we've been utilising the 3 windows to implement 5 substitutions. For me, a lot of the best teams in Europe do it, and I think Everton need to utilise it. We've not seen Alcaraz, such an imperative, important player for us towards the back end of last season. I'm seeing the likes of Idrissa Gana Gueye absolutely dying on his feet the other night. He was taking blows to the rib cage and he was winded at one point. It took him ages to gasp and get his levels back up. And I just don't think we're identifying changes. It's almost just like for like. We're not seeing anything intricately change. Like we could see Jack moving as a 10 and Jack come over to the left. You could have brought Idrissa off and you could have dropped back Keenan Dewsbury Hall, put Tyler Diblin onto the right-hand side. We're just not seeing that from Moyes. Now, listen, I'm a David Moyes fan, and I've had quite a lot of negative comments this week. And listen, we're all entitled to our comments. Whether we feel that Everton played really well on Monday night, you're entitled to say that. If you're happy with the point, you're entitled to say that. For me, I weren't happy with the point. That's me personally. I weren't happy with the point against Aston Villa, but I took it. I think with both games, that Everton should have been capitalising and taking the 6 points. Aston Villa hadn't scored a goal at that point. Really, really struggling. And obviously West Ham, they've had the new manager bounce, and that's probably what's got them through and getting a result against us on Monday night. They'll be fine now. Nuno Espirito Santo is a very good defensive coach, and he'll get them up the league. I believe that. I firmly believe that. West Ham have got some good players, and he'll find a way of making them hard to beat. And they've got big players who will get them goals, like Jared Bowen did the other night. Albeit he had quite a quiet game. I think Mikalenko kept him quiet. Mikalenko does that. He really does. But it's evident to see that Everton are really struggling in terms of fullbacks, overlapping, getting high and wide. Jake O'Brien really were negative the other night. I think he was scared of Somerville, what he were doing to him. And what I mean by that is he had his number. There were periods where I felt like, Jake O'Brien could have pushed on a bit higher and wider, but he was reluctant to doing it. He was getting it deep a lot, and then obviously just putting it out to the right hand side. I want to see Tyler Diblin getting introduced more game time now. It's getting closer and closer to, the AFCON Cup. That's going to be happening, and he needs these minutes. He's a marquee signing for us. He is. He's come in for big money, and Everton have got to use him. We've got to be giving these players more game time. They're not getting enough. 5 minutes here and there. It's not enough to impact the game. Everton seem to be just sticking to what we've got out there and hoping for the best, and ideas are certainly running out. Where do we go though, Blues, with the number 9? I want you to give us your thoughts, your opinions on it. There is that Njai potentially is a false 9. Do we go for Barry now for the next 3 to 4 games and give him 60 to 70 minutes every single game? I think that's what we need to do. Personally, we've paid big money for him. He's the new lad who's come in. Let's instill a little bit of confidence into him and let's play him. Because, let's be honest, Beto has been really poor over the last couple of weeks. He's been poor as a whole, to be honest, this season. So, I've seen as well that we're linked with Gabriel Jesus. I'm personally not a fan of Jesus. I don't think he's a clinical goal scorer. I don't think he's a proven goal scorer. He's decent technically. And obviously he's good on the ball. He's Brazilian. But I just don't think he gets enough goals. I don't think he was a good signing for Arsenal. I'm just being honest. So Blues, I feel like we're in a tough phase at the minute. We've got Crystal Palace at the weekend. On Sunday, I'll be doing my match review of that tomorrow. So, I'd be grateful if you tuned into that. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Click that bell to turn on post notifications. I appreciate all your comments, Blues. I really, really do. Thanks for the support. The channel's growing. We're heading towards 4,000 subscribers. Palace game is going to be tough. It's going to be tougher than, personally, what we had against Villa, what we had against West Ham, and Everton have got to be on it. Maybe the game will open up a little bit because Palace are a good side who like to get on the ball as well. They've got good ball retention midfielders in Wharton. And, they're a club and they're a team that have lost key players, but they seem to keep pushing on and moving forward. They beat the champions last week, and rightly so. They deserve that win. So they're going to be coming to the Hill Dickinson wanting to make sure they can beat us at our own ground on our own patch. We're still undefeated. Albeit it doesn't feel like it. It really doesn't. Even though it was a draw for me, it felt like a loss leaving that ground on Monday night. Yeah, we're gutted. I just thought we've dropped points here tonight. We should have been on 10 points, but it didn't happen. I'm just hoping Moyes learns from these mistakes that the Everton players are doing. I hope we're a little bit more ruthless in terms of making substitutions. I think that's the key thing. I really do. I think Michael Keane has been brilliant so far this season. Long may it continue. I mean, I cracked a joke the other day on my content and I said he's our best finisher. Could we go for Michael Keane up top? And I'm not even kidding. I'm really not, honestly. If Jared gets back, could you try it? It sounds like a wild card. It sounds a little bit crazy, but the lad knows where the back of the net is. You know, can he play and can he lead the line? We don't know because we've not seen it. We've seen him just thrown up there like at Goodison with like 6, 7 minutes to go, etc. So we don't know. Listen, our team's improving. We are. The team is getting better. A little bit of overplay needs to kind of stop. I want to see balls getting whipped into the box. I want to see our strikers, potentially Barry, just coming in deep and getting on the ball and bringing players into play, ones and twos, running the channels, getting the balls over the top. It has to improve in that area because if it doesn't, Everton are going to lose a lot of points this season. I'm not just putting point on it's the strikers to get us the wins and get us the goals. It isn't. But if your strikers are firing, it makes a hell of a difference. And we learned that last season with Beto, you know, getting those goals when it was important and we needed it. Me and my mate, we were cracking a joke the other day and it was about Calvert-Lewin. My mate said, like, you know, a fit Calvert-Lewin would do better than these two donkeys that we've got. I don't know. At the minute, I couldn't disagree. Albeit, I've seen Calvert-Lewin miss some sitters as well this season. He's not clinical enough as well. There isn't a lot of strikers out there that are. And I'm being honest, I got a bit of stick for saying, look, let's just go for Jamie Vardy for now. Temporary, just for now. Could Jamie Vardy have done any worse? Listen, I know that's not going to happen. That has gone. He's moved over to Italy. He's like nearly 40 or something. But Ashley Young came in and did a job at that age. And I was just thinking, for someone who knows where the back of the net is, still willing to work hard, and, you know, decent technically. He's good at pens as well. Although the Everton don't get pens, do we? Blues, okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for your support. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Click that bell to turn on post notifications. This is our final summary of the draw against West Ham United, 1-1. We move on. We move forward. Up the toffees. I'm looking forward to the Crystal Palace game. I'll be taking my son to that one. And yeah, see you on the next one.